Hello, this is Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. My co-host, Bill Morton, president of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce, cannot be here with us today. I am Trudy Leong, administrator at the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. Our very special guest today is Ron Keaton. He is an actor, singer, director, writer, and what else are you, Ron?
I juggle. In my business, you do what's necessary to be able to pay the bills. So.
But it seems as if you wrote and then you acted in Churchill, in King Lear, in
King Lear at the Goodman. I did that. Yeah.
Yes. And then another statesman. The most recent one is
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin.
It's my brand new show.
Yes. So you're playing and writing and getting into the character of all these statesmen.
Yep.
Are you a statesman at heart?
I doubt it. I'm more a diplomat than anything else.
Well, statesmen need to be diplomats
as well.
That's
true. That's a good point. I started doing this when I wrote Churchill 10 years ago. I just needed a job. Oh. You know, when actors need a job, they do whatever they can. So I wrote my own play. Mm-hmm. And for some strange reason, it latched on and became very successful. At least for me and all the places that we played. We had, at the Greenhouse Theater Center in downtown, on Lincoln, we played there for 14 weeks. And then we took the play to New York off Broadway, and we played 6 months.
And you won the Jefferson Award for that?
I did. I was very fortunate. Thank you. This is something I've done all my life, and I don't know what else I would have done.
Well, you seem to enjoy it. Did you have mentors along the way? How did you learn your craft?
Everyone becomes a mentor. We all help each other. Yes, I have a couple of people that helped me. Everyone has a teacher that helps them. For me, my teacher, who just passed away a couple of years ago, his name was Richard Willis. I'm from central Indiana originally. Mm-hmm. And he was a teacher, an English and theater teacher at the high school I went to. And by the time I graduated from high school, I had done well over a dozen plays. Mm. And that kind of prepared me to go to college and make sure that my major was what I wanted it to be, theater.
Mm-hmm. So it seems as if you love theater. You love that platform. You're not that interested at all in TV or motion picture.
Oh, quite the contrary. I am, but the competition is so fierce. There are so many of us. Let me give you an example. I'm a member of 2 unions, all right? The main union that I'm a member of is Actors Equity, which is the stage actors union.
Got it.
There are approximately 51,000 members of Actors Equity. The unemployment rate amongst members is roughly 90%.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So you have to want to be in this business for more than just making money, which is why I've done it. I've been an actor since I was 16 years old. Mm-hmm.
Have you had to hold other jobs as well to support the acting?
Sure, we all did. I've been a bartender. I sold encyclopedias. I worked in a greenhouse. I did all kinds of things, just like most other actors do.
Well, and all those other jobs, that also helps you learn a lot of different things that might help you in your roles, too.
It does.
What kind of encyclopedia?
The Britannica.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was young, they used to sell them door to door.
So when you say that you sing too, you sing jazz singer?
Yes, jazz and cabaret. I had a good probably 10-year career here in the city as a jazz singer. I was very fortunate in that in working in musical theater, you meet a lot of musicians who play both sides. They play jazz, they play country, they play this, they play that. And I met a few people that helped me develop a repertoire of songs that allowed me to perform around town.
Did you perform with other performers, or did you have your own show?
Most of the time it was with others on a bill, because that's the way jazz and cabaret works here. More cabaret. Let's see. I worked at Fitzgerald's out in Oak Park. I worked at Pops for Champaign downtown. I worked at the other Pops, which was way out in Highwood. I worked probably half a dozen clubs around town.
And where did you learn how to sing?
That's a good question. I could probably attribute that to another teacher I had in school.
High school teacher?
High school, yeah. She was a very influential person in my musicality, and through her I learned how to read music. I found out I have what's called perfect pitch, which means I can tell you what the note is when I sing it. She pampered me along the way, and I will always be appreciative for that.
Did she sing too? If she did, whom did she sound like?
She had a voice like a foghorn.
Well, then she could project then.
Yes.
You learned how to
She was
project?
much more a pianist and a conductor than she was a singer.
Oh, so you learned how to project, how to sing in the mask.
Yeah,
through her.
yeah. It's what you do. You learn both of the things. Being a singer and being an actor, you use similar tools.
Yes.
And as a result, you often find yourself interchanging those tools to get whatever it is that you're doing right. Diaphragm, keeping the chest open, all kinds of stuff. I don't want to bore you, but
I like that stuff.
you get the idea. It's the actor and the singer, but the actor has to use as many tools as they possibly can to make sure that the role that they're doing is not only accurate, but through their lens, my talents are creating this role when I'm doing it. So I put as much of myself in a role as the role gives me.
When you did your research, I'm assuming that you did a lot of research for Churchill and for Ben Franklin.
Yes.
So what was maybe two things that you found out that were interesting and that no one knows about Churchill, and two things about Ben Franklin?
Oh, really good question. For Churchill, Churchill suffered from intense clinical depression. He called it the black dog.
Dog, like the
dog, D-O-G.
Okay.
Yeah, because it always came around him at times when he was absolutely not needing to feel that way.
Well, did he have any pets? Did he have any dog?
He did.
And what color was the dog?
And what color were the dogs? I don't know. I just know he had a couple of pets. What else? Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin turned out to be much more sensitive as a person than I ever imagined. Reading his writings, looking at how he related to people back then, everyone thinks he's a very charming person who could give you his case and convince you that he's right all the time. But he was a very sensitive and difficult in the family person to relate to. He had a wife that he saw over a 20-year period He saw her twice while they were married because he was overseas.
Oh.
When she passed away, he couldn't come back for her funeral.
And lots of sacrifices.
No, yeah, lots of sacrifices. And he always wondered why he lost so much family by giving himself in service to the country. He thought they understood.
He thought that his family understood?
Yeah, yeah.
But did you think they did?
I think they did, and I think they had a difficult time accepting it.
What about Churchill? These major statesmen, they have to sacrifice a lot, and it seems to be that family is always on the end of that sacrificial stick.
Mm-hmm, you're right. Churchill had 2 sons, I believe it was, and he was pretty much an only child, and his father was in the military, and as a result, his parents gave him a very strict military upbringing, which probably influenced more and more as he got older why he fell into depression so often.
So he wasn't that military minded. He wasn't a military person at heart, but he was forced to be.
I think so myself. He certainly, because when he was prime minister and things like that, he had a military approach and had good advisors behind him. But he was not a tactician per se, like generals would be. He was much more a big picture person. Getting, looking at something and saying, this is what's needed here. Okay, we'll ship these troops up here, and would always coordinate that, with his generals on staff.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had he delegated well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did, because he pretty much saved the world back in World War II.
Mm-hmm. What about Ben Franklin? How did he delegate?
He didn't. He did so much on his own.
On his own.
Yeah. When he originally went to Paris, I should back up, my play, which is called The First Embassy, is about Ben Franklin being sent to France to get them to be on America's side in fighting the British during the Revolution. He was the very first international ambassador from the United States.
Oh.
Hence, the first embassy.
What about other countries at that time? Did other countries have embassies, or was that the very first embassy?
Not when he went there, no. Eventually they did. John Adams, as a matter of fact, he was an ambassador at The Hague. John Jay was the ambassador to England after the revolution was done. So he was there with King George all the time and listening to him complain. Yes, there were several ambassadors that in the time that Ben Franklin was there, and he was in France for 9 years. He was able to help the other people, establish their office, their embassy, because he was the guinea pig. Mm-hmm. He was sent there with no direction, no instruction, no protocol. Congress gave him no money, and so he was on his own.
So did he have to spend his own money then?
I bet he did. He was certainly rich enough. And he was, of course, the most famous American in the world at the time. Mm-hmm. So everyone knew who he was.
Because he was an inventor, because he was so
because of all the things,
everything.
Exactly. An inventor, a scientist. He cultivated the idea of the post office, the library. There are those who call Ben Franklin the American Da Vinci because of how wide and varied his interests were and how he pursued them.
Well, what did he foresee that many people don't know about?
What did he foresee? That's a very good question, too. You're good, Trudy. He foresaw that slavery would be a real problem in America, partially because in his early days, he owned slaves. As time passed, his stance changed rapidly, and he actually became the first. He founded the first anti-slavery group in North America before he died.
What influenced him to change like that?
Pardon me?
What influenced him to change his stance on slavery?
I can tell you, there were two things. One, a conversation with the Marquis de Lafayette, who was sent over by France to help America fight the revolution in America, and he actually became Washington's surrogate son. Anyway, they had a conversation, and the conversation was the Marquis saying to Ben Franklin, you have all these freedoms that you've declared, and yet you still have 500,000 people in bondage. Why is that?
So France, did they ever have slaves before?
No,
Okay.
no. And in fact, France was virulently anti-slavery.
But they were colonizing countries, though.
Oh, absolutely they were, absolutely. But most of that colonization flew through England, Spain and Portugal to some degree. That's where all the ships came, and then Europe's participation in slavery is not something that I'm an expert on, but I can tell you that France, of all the countries in Europe, was the one place where everybody felt that it was wrong, absolutely wrong. And all of Franklin's friends who were there, they influenced him that way.
Wow. So did Franklin have any part in starting? How much did Franklin influence the anti-slavery sentiment in the U.S.?
Well, he tried very hard to get a clause inserted in the Constitution. You'll recall that the Second Continental Congress was held in Philadelphia. He was asked to be the governor of Pennsylvania. So he was in charge of it all. He created an anti-slavery stance and sent it to the Continental Congress to negotiate and see what they could do about putting it into the Constitution. He couldn't physically do it because he was so ill at the time. He had gout. He had kidney stones.
How old was he at the time?
89. Oh. I'm sorry. No, I take that back. 82. I got to get my years right.
Well,
he was 82 years old.
For that time, that's a very long
Yeah,
life.
it is. It is. And in the last year of his life, in which he was 84, he tried very hard to get that same clause revived in the Working Congress. And they said, well, we'll look at this, and then they just kind of put it aside, and he died before they did anything with it. He died in April of 1790. He was 84.
So what was his greatest regret when do you think, when he died?
His relationship with his family. The fact that he wanted to be a better father. He had an illegitimate son, William, who was a loyalist. He was the royal governor of New Jersey when the war broke out. So he got arrested, because he was British.
Oh.
He was on the British side. And they did not speak for years, almost until the end of the Revolution, when his son William finally wrote him a letter and said, in essence, he said, can we start over? Can we establish this father-son thing again?
Do you think that you, in all your research, that you could tell what did Franklin do that influenced his son to want to reach out like that?
I think Ben Franklin and his son William, before the war, they had a fairly close relationship. They were both intellectual men. so they could talk on pretty much anything. William was taken in by Franklin, being illegitimate, and his wife accepted it happily, as if they were a natural family. Of course, they became one, but the point is that William and Ben, when they would talk, when they would exchange letters, when anything, it was always in a pretty positive vein. When the war came, that put the wall up. The war drove a wedge between the two of them that never really got repaired.
Okay. I guess that the two of them were kind of statesmen, and then they did their best, because statesmen always have a problem to make everybody happy.
Yeah,
and
you're right. That's their obligation. And when they can't do that, you think, why am I, what am I doing wrong? How do I take care of this? Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So coming all around, what has your career taught you about how maybe how people should be diplomatic, how people should treat each other?
Well, I'm in a career where you have to be diplomatic in many ways, because you are presenting yourself, for instance, at an audition to 1, 2, 3, 4, however many people are there. You want to give them what they're looking for. And at the same time, when it's all done, when your audition is finished, whether it's a monologue or a song or whatever it is, there's usually some time to have some personal exchange. And in that time, that could very well be the most diplomatic you have to be. Because
That's the job interview.
Exactly. That's the job interview. And because you want the job, you have to be diplomatic in some ways.
How were you able to get your play into the hands of the people who would be able to produce it?
Well, in this case, in the Ben Franklin case,
Yes.
The first embassy, I used some connections that I had in the past when I did Churchill. After we closed Churchill in New York, we toured it in various locations around the country. I kept those associations in a file, talking to them on phone, on Facebook, whatever. And when I finished this play, one of the first places I reached out to was in Florida that said, "Sure, we still have a file on you."
What about Churchill? How did you get Churchill into the hands of the people?
I had a very lovely producer at a performing arts center in Burlington, Iowa, of all places, that gave me my first shot doing Churchill. She said, "Yeah, Ron, I'll give you a chance." Oh. And she has since passed, but she basically changed the arc of my career.
And have you helped any other young performers or other fellow actors in a way that these people that you've spoken about helped you?
I sure hope so. I have this feeling that everyone in our business, we all need to take care of each other. And so few people really practice that. So I at least do my best to be one that walks the walk and helps others just as I got helped.
And what do you see in the future for you? And also, what is the main subject, that the issue that Benjamin Franklin has to overcome in Ben Franklin? Real quick, we don't have that much time
left. Yes, I realize. What Ben Franklin has to overcome is his own perception of how the world is around him, that they will listen. He's a commanding presence, even in his charm. Everyone understands this is a man who knows what he's talking about. So he will take advantage of that from time to time, and occasionally ruffle a feather here and there.
Well, in other words, I think you mean that he has to take care of himself, make sure that what he is actually useful to what he wants to accomplish.
Very good. Yes, that's a better assessment than I came up with.
If our viewers want to learn more about you, Ron Keaton, where should they go?
That's a good question. You can probably check at various theaters around town because we all take care of each other again. And if I'm working on a website, ronaldkeaton.com, that I hope to have running by the first of the year.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. From Bill Morton and me, Trudy Leong, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week.